Okay, we are now on to getting commitment, module 7. Commit and maintain the relationship. So after the commitment, we do the follow-up to keep the relationship going. Now, if you think of it this way, our objective is not to get a sale. Our objective is not to get a sale. Our real objective is to get a reorder. If you think about it, right? We often say, oh, we want to get a sale. Actually, what we really want is a sale plus other sales, a reorder of our services or product. That's what we're really after. So in this section here, demonstrate confidence to ask for the sale. A lot of salespeople, though, are not confident to ask for the sale. Why is that, do you think? Why aren't they confident? What do you think? Why don't they ask for the sale?
Because they are scared of rejection.
Yeah, so why are they scared? Why are they scared to ask?
Rejection.
They're scared of rejection, and why are they scared of rejection?
Because of their expectations. They know what they want, and they're scared of that final. That will be the end if it's brought.
Most sales fail.
Okay.
Rejection is by far the most common result.
Yeah.
But why are they scared of rejection? Why don't they just accept that rejection is a natural consequence of being in sales? Why are they fearful of rejection? That's my point.
Because maybe they think the energy they need to expend in order to get to that sale.
What else?
Maybe they take it personally.
Yeah. Their success is tied to their self-esteem. And failure makes them feel inadequate, makes them feel unhappy. Because they fear rejection, which then they see as a criticism of their ability or an indication of their inability, they think, well, if I don't ask for the sale, I can't get rejected, therefore my self-esteem will be intact. But, as we have discussed previously, they are not rejecting you. They are only rejecting the offer at this time in the business cycle, in the cycle inside the company, with this particular content in the offer. That's what they're rejecting. They're not rejecting you, the individual. And that's a very important difference to understand. If you understand that, then you have got confidence to ask for the scale because you don't fear a no answer. And in module 6, remember we dealt with overcoming hesitation. So we have a methodology for dealing with that. And then we choose a method for gaining commitment that fits the situation, right? So we'll look for different ways of getting people's agreement to buy, and how, after the sale, how do we deal with problems that come up in the follow-up? You didn't deliver what you said you were going to deliver. Somewhere there was a problem. So this is projecting through the sale. It's getting the commitment and going past the sale. This is the reorder part, isn't it? I said before, the object is not to get a sale, it's to get a reorder. That is our real objective, I should say. Then finally, how do we follow up and stay in touch with customers? That's what we're going to cover in this module. Okay? Dale Carnegie's principle number 14. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. And how do we do that? How do we get people to say yes, yes immediately? What's our method of doing that?
Close-ended questions, and yes is the only answer.
Yeah, that's right. They're closed questions that can only lead to a yes outcome. If you ask them something that they can say no to, then you're having a problem of momentum there. You want them to be agreeing with your proposition, agreeing with your value, so they're saying yes. So we have to design our questions very carefully so that that's the outcome we're going to get. So on page, get my glasses here, on page 7.2, we're talking about buying signals. Okay? and warning signals. So have a think on that page. What would be things you'd observe in the meeting with your client that would tell you, this client is interested. They have potential to buy today or very shortly. All right? So let's get the buying signals first. So let's think about, could be things they say, could be things we see, it could be questions they ask us, could be a number of things. Let's think what they are. Any questions on that? We all good?
Yep.
Let's get some buying signals down. This is 7.2. Let's list those up.
Do we need to...
Okay. Let's have a look at some of these. So these are buying signals. Anthony, what do we got for the first one? What would get an indication they're paying attention?
Taking notes,
Taking notes, yes. They're actually making some notes,
especially here.
especially in Japan, yes. Anyone else have a different one for getting attention or watching? They're actually paying attention?
Their disposition, like, in terms of how positive they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe body language.
Yeah. What would be some body language?
If they're open, if they're like, obviously maybe slightly closed off.
Yeah. They're watching you.
Sitting straight up.
They're sitting straight up. They might
Arms
even be leaning in a
unfolded.
little bit, taking some notes. So as they're paying attention, yeah. Relaxation. What would be an indication that
Arms
they're comfortable?
unfolded. Arms unfolded.
Yeah, arms unfolded, yeah.
They're crossed.
Yeah.
I would say if they're laughing with you, if they're engaging in your
Yeah.
conversation, because
Yeah.
that's a clear sign.
Yeah, that's a clear sign. They feel comfortable with you. You've built up a degree of trust. You can have some,
It's not formal, so to speak.
not stand-up comedy, but
Yeah.
witticisms and enjoying a little bit of banter,
That's it.
that type of thing is always good. Yeah. What about confidence? What shows that they've got confidence in what you're talking about?
When they sound intrigued or enthused by
Yeah.
when you talk about your product.
Questions. The questions might be asking something after the sale. Something that's actually assumes a sale has already taken part, or they might say something like, that would work. Oh, you can do that. What does that sound like? I'm pleased. I didn't know that. Here's something additional. Here's something good. Yeah. What else did you have for
Maybe
confidence?
like a strong handshake.
Yeah, a strong handshake when though?
When they initially meet them, I mean. If
I could be
get-
really confident and say, "Get out of my office! I don't want to buy." But this is actually in the buying signal.
Right.
That's confident. Yeah, you could have the wet fish, dead fish handshake, and they buy something. Great.
I'd say scenario planning thinking.
Okay, for example.
So they're already starting to move down that process. If we do this, this is what we think about.
They're planning past the sale, right?
It's like, which is a bit like your point you made earlier. So,
Yeah. What about listening?
Real good body language. This, they're thinking.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
Yeah. Often people
Touching
look
your
up
face.
to the right.
Or they do this, yeah, they do that.
They look up to the right for some reason. Yeah, that's looking up, searching for the answer, searching the heavens for the answer. Yeah.
I'd also questions.
Yeah.
So somebody's listening now.
Yeah, if the question's relevant to what you've just spoken about, it shows they're concentrating, they're following you, they're listening to what you're saying. Yeah. What's some enthusiasm?
Smiling, laughing.
That sounds great. Oh, when can you start? Oh, I didn't know you guys could do that. That's fantastic. We need that. That's enthusiasm. Well, tell me more. Can you show me again?
Or if they start to talk about getting other people involved. Because there's a time and effort in those other
Yeah.
people.
Oh,
which is quite common in
let's
our-
get Mary involved in this conversation
Yeah.
because there's a couple of steps where they're going to be involved with their section or their division. Yeah. Okay. Anything else in those buying signals? What are some other buying signals you've noticed?
When they say yes.
That's a pretty
Pull
good
out
one.
their credit card.
I like pull out their credit card. I like that one. That's fine. Let's do some warning signals now. What would be some indications of resistance, uneasiness, nervousness, impatience, anger, hesitation? So on 7.2, what are some things there which we would see those and go, uh-oh, I've got a problem?
slumped over in the chair.
Let's write them down and then we'll share.
Oh, okay.
You've already done them, okay, you're way ahead of the
yeah,
game.
thanks.
Shall we hear a few of these? What would be some indications of a warning signal when you see resistance? What does resistance sound or look like?
I think can sometimes, and again, you've got to take things in clusters, but just negative from the very start. When you get
Negative, how do you know they're negative?
Well, from their persona. When they walk
Persona,
in- when
so
they walk
body
in the room,
language,
body
face,
language,
voice quality,
all that,
attitude,
all
all
that,
tell you this isn't going to be good.
whatever it is.
Yeah. What are some other indicators of resistance?
Non-conversant.
Yeah, they don't say anything. They don't ask any clarifying questions, don't ask any follow-up questions. They just sit there, silent as the tomb, listen to you drone on and don't say anything. Yeah, what else?
Looking around, not making eye contact.
Yeah,
Looking at
avoiding.
their watch.
Yeah, looking at their watch. How long will this take before we get
Taking
you out of
phone
office?
calls in the middle of
Yeah.
the meetings or letting people interrupt and
Yep.
come in.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
bit mixed with impatience and uneasiness, right? Those
Yes.
Right,
issues
right.
as well.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Uneasiness. What would be some uneasiness examples?
Well, not engaging in the meeting.
Yeah.
And just not, there's just no rapport. Whatever
How
it
about
is.
like they're shaking their
Disagree.
head? Negative. They're like,
Oh,
you're talking about your offer, and they're going, not sure about this. I don't think it's going to work. I'm not convinced. They're showing you that type of body language, right?
Arms folded.
Yeah, arms folded. Yeah. What about nervousness?
unable to make a decision
Yeah. Now, how do we know that?
because they're not answering questions.
Yeah. They're being obtuse, or they're being
Is that because they're not a
distracted,
decision maker or
or
something?
maybe they're not the decision maker. Maybe they don't feel they have the ability to give you a yes or a no. Yeah. Impatience. What's impatience look like?
That's the looking at the watch.
That's the watch, isn't it? Yeah. Look at the clock, look at the watch, bring out their phone. Yeah. How about anger?
Abrupt replies.
Abrupt replies, tone of voice, again, body language.
I-
And what about hesitation? What about hesitation? What does that look like?
I sometimes think if they put obstacles in the way, you've covered it, the needs analysis for an expression, but they just keep putting obstacles in the way.
And why do they do that? Why do they keep putting up barriers and obstacles and questions?
Because they're not sure either yet.
Yeah, they're testing.
They're just testing you.
Because this is a very risk-averse environment in Japan. People in Japanese companies, you're going to have a smoother progression up through the ranks of the company by making no mistakes than making mistakes, so take the risk out. Achieving something and doing a brilliant job often got risk attached to it. Better not to worry about that. Just keep your head down and just keep moving along, you'll get there. Taking a risk, you're a risk. This is company money, don't know you, don't know your company, don't know your track record. There's a risk to this, so why would I go ahead? So they're asking those things to take risk out. This is why in the previous module we dealt with hesitancy. That's the formula. That's the formula. Get it out. So you've already done all that to clear that, to get to the commitment. But you'll see those buying signals on the way through. Okay. So now, when we actually come to explain the benefit, you see here on page 7.3, painting a word picture. And remember, they have a primary interest, what they want to achieve, right? They maybe want to have more sales or awareness or whatever it might be. That's their primary driver, right? Then that person has their own individual motivation. Look good at work, please the boss, get a promotion, get a bonus, get a raise, have esteem within the company, get company employee of the year, month, or whatever it might be. They've got something driving them personally. Okay. So when we get around to getting to let's get a commitment, we've gone through, this is the factor feature, this is the benefit of that factor feature, this is the application of that factor feature benefit, this is the evidence trial clause. We've done all that. now we're getting ready to get them to buy. So now we have to provide them with something they can see in their mind that looks good. It's a good outcome. Okay. So you remind them of all the good things that you're going to, the benefits, how your solution will fit in with their bigger picture of what they want, and you do it as painting a word picture, and then you ask for the sale. So we see here that we talk about the word picture. It talks about link the benefit of your solution in the word picture. Have words which appeal to emotion. Don't blabber on, have it fairly compact. It's present tense. Even it's something that happens in the future, we talk about it as if it's actually happening now. Right? Okay. You're at the sales convention. You are walking up on stage. The president is shaking your hand and providing you with the certificate of the division which provided the greatest sales growth in the history of the company. So you're providing a mental image of success for that person in the present tense. Not, you will be at the sales convention and you will walk up on it. You are at the sales convention. You are wherever they need to be. So it's present tense. Got to be believable, realistic. And then we're looking for sight, sound, touch, taste, all those types of things, and linked into their personal motive. Now here we have 2 word pictures, and we have salesperson and customer. What was different between these two? Think about the word pictures. What was different in the word pictures?
I think the first one, he was probably scaring the person off. I mean, talking about like...
what did he say here? He said, it's going to be exciting, a water in your face, wrestling with the current, dodging the rocks, right? For the 10-year-old son, right? Now, he doesn't know it's a 10-year-old son, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Why doesn't he know it's a 10-year-old son?
Because he didn't ask.
Because he didn't ask the critical question, did he? And he's describing something that's greatly fearful for the client. But it's a great word picture, though. Now, if the son had been 18, 19, jock athlete, super sporty sort of guy, that would probably be a great word picture. You know, if the father was like that and the son was like that, hey, yeah, get in the whitewater. Yeah, let's get out there and battle. Where's that battle boat? But this is the classic. This salesperson is offering blue, but the person wants to buy pink. And they keep talking about blue and they want to buy pink because they haven't asked the question. What colour do you want? I want blue. Stop talking about pink, talk about blue. The second salesperson, they ask the question. How old is your son? Right? Tell me about your son, actually, even better. So what do we find out in the second one? 10. Suppose the Salmon River is a big river. There's a part of it which is not going to be dangerous. Camp out, bit of father and son time, fishing. Very much a different picture. And now, look at the description here, Yes, just picture it. So the salesperson is setting up the word picture. All in the present tense. You and your son load up your gear. Not will load up your gear. You and your son load up your gear and comfortably paddle out on the river and find just the perfect camping spot with those little islands. Right? That night, you light a campfire, you and your son catch up, bloody, blah. Right? This is what you would like to see happen, isn't it? Right? What's the answer to that question? Yes. Because that's what they've told the salesperson they want. Both are powerful word pictures. Circumstance is the critical difference. Make sure your word picture is right for that circumstance. Okay? So let's have a think about on page 7.4. Let's start building a word picture. Think of a client. Okay? Could be past, could be current, could be future, doesn't matter. What is their primary interest? Their primary interest is build their customer base, make more sales, higher brand awareness, penetrate new markets, whatever it might be. What's their individual motive? be well regarded at work, keep the boss happy, keep their job, big commission, big bonus, promotion, sales awards, whatever it might be. What's their individual motive? Now, you talk about the client's told you the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. Now, we did that in the questioning sequence earlier, right? Previous module. So you acknowledge that. You mentioned to me that the growth rates in the last couple of years have not really been satisfactory. And the problem has been lead generation of getting new buyers has been holding you back. So that's what the problem was they told you, right? There was a gap. And then you tell them, using our solution, we're going to be able to appeal to not only a bigger number of potential buyers, but also new markets that haven't been tapped before. That's your solution, right? For example. Now you paint the word picture. Right? The word picture is to get them to a mental place of what success looks like. Success for them, not success for you, but success for them in whatever they're trying. They've told you what they're trying to do. They've told you the gap. You've come up with a solution. Now you're painting the picture. You've told them, remind them, you told me this was the problem. I mentioned this as a solution, all very brief. Now I paint that word picture as if it's happened. So I describe it in the present tense for them, so they mentally can see what success looks like, and then you ask them, let's do it. You ask them for the commitment to go ahead and do it. That's how this works. Any questions on that? All right. On the next page here, you've got this page and the next page. I'll bring this up. Okay. These are some methodologies for asking for the sale. Right? You don't need to have many to ask them. The first one there is the direct question. Well, shall we do it? Direct question. Let's go. Shall we go ahead? Shall we start? The alternative choice is, shall we film the video first, or would you like to see the design of the ads? Either of which is a yes, right? Because it's past the sale, right? Or shall we start this month, or how about next month? Okay, you're giving them. You're not saying a yes or a no. You're saying yes and yes. That's the alternate choice, is a yes or a yes choice. Okay. Minor point. This is something where you indicate you're buying the small part of something that's a subset of the bigger part. If you say yes to the small part, it assumes you've bought the whole thing. Right? So if I say to you, would you like Japanese subtitling on the English version and English subtitles on the Japanese version? And you say yes, you've now bought the video, because we've talked about subtitles. If you're not buying the video, why would you care about the subtitles? So that's where this is important, to tap into an agreement on the way through. All right. Next one. Next step method. So this is after delivery. This could be after we've done the email blast. Then let's do a follow-up and include the video in the second email blast 1 week later. Right, so again, it's a type of subset idea. It should do something, and then there's something else is going to happen. If they agree to do that, they've bought the whole package. Right? They've bought the idea. The opportunity, this is, it's a window of opportunity. It's either in this financial year, you told me that your financial year finishes in June. We've now got an opportunity to use the funds that are available for this campaign before headquarters takes it back. So let's make the best use of the available funds we've got, make sure you use them in this financial year, so they're not taken off you and you get the benefit. All right? This is like, if you don't do it, you lose something. Here's the opportunity to do it now. It's that last little black dress, it's that last t-shirt, it's that last whatever it is, last shoes in that colour. You've got to buy it now because the opportunity is going to be taken away if you don't. Right? That's what that's about. Then the weighing method. This is where you do it physically. You get a piece of paper, you draw a line down the middle, you put yes, no,
The Ben Franklin.
and Ben Franklin close, exactly, and you write down all the yeses, all the things that are in favour of this. And then you shut up, and then you ask them to think of some things against that. All right. So there's a couple of different versions of that. That's a simple version. In some cases, you can actually help them a little bit with some of the no's. Not too helpful.
Yeah.
But the idea is, at the end of the day, the yes is an overwhelming reason to go ahead compared to the no's. That's the main method. So for each of these, I'd like you now to think about, okay, what am I, think of your customer, let me think of how I can get them to buy using each one of these, except for the last one. The last one was actually sit down and you do it together. So that's easy to do, but let's do the others as a design, okay? So you design what you're going to say, your words,
How many?
all of them.
All
So
of
just
them.
one for each. So one for direct, one for alternative, one for minor, one for next step, and one for opportunity, in your words, all right? So you've got a client in mind, you want to get them to say yes, design. Any questions on that? You all good?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's fairly straightforward, but this is to have something in your mind to ask for the order. You've got some alternatives. So let's run through them one each. So Anthony, you want to start? Direct method, how would you say it? All right, and then the weighing method. So none of that was very difficult, was it?
No.
It's just a question of don't take rejection personally. It's rejection of your current offer in its present state at this particular point in time. That's all. Ask for the order. You've gone through questioning, you've gone through solution provision. If you've had to, if you've done those things pretty well, you might not have any hesitation at all, in which case you go straight into one of these immediately. Or if there is some hesitation, then you cushion it, you clarify it, you double check it, then you either answer it, deny it, admit it, reverse it, etc., right, as we did before. You go through that whole process, right? Then we go straight into it. So, very straight.
Yeah,
But,
it's
for some buyers, that's probably, it's one of those things. You have a big toolkit, and when you need the tool, it's there. You may not use that tool. Once at a time, you may need, this may work. The Ben Franklin method may work. I've never used it because I never had to use it. I get plenty of yes or no's out of the others. But it's just another part of the toolkit.
But we use
High pressure aggressive.
That's in retail, right? In business to business, it's more likely to be, we have limited supply.
Right.
If you order now, we can get the supply organised in time. But if we miss it, then it's going to push it back, So
right.
let's grab the opportunity and get it done now. So, it comes up. I mean, opportunity, I know what you mean. That's sort of squeezing you to make the sale. I resist that too.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to deal with looking at some mistakes. I know we're all perfect.
I don't think that.
I know we're all perfect. We're all great. But occasionally, somebody else in the company doesn't do their job and something didn't happen, right? Something didn't go quite according to plan, or maybe it was us. Anyway, the problem has come out. The client's not happy. So here's the response, right? We go into, first of all, we listen. Right? We don't react. We do not show through our body language or our composure or our facial expression or anything like that we are resisting what they're saying. They're already upset. Don't throw petrol on the fire by showing that you're resisting what they're saying, rejecting what they're saying. Listen to it. Accept that, yes, these things probably are true. We'll clarify that. Then you question it to get a little bit more detail, just to understand fully what is the problem. Again, you're very calm, just trying to get them to tell you, and they will vent. Let them vent. They're going to be upset. Let them vent. You're not trying to hose it down. You let them go. Let them get it out. Make them feel, I have been understood. That is what they want to know. I have been understood. There is an issue. You need to do something about it. I want to make sure you clearly understand what's gone wrong here so that you can fix it. I expect you to fix it, but you better know what the problem is. Have I been clearly understood? No, I need to feel it. So don't cut him off. Don't jump in with an excuse. Don't argue the point. Shut up. Listen. Clarify a few questions. Now, cushion, right? Again, cushion. Have a little bit of a break. Your brain is thinking about your response. How are you going to answer this? What you can do about it. So you give yourself a bit of thinking time. The questioning is good for thinking. The cushion is good for thinking. Before we did the cushion first, then we did the question, right? In the previous example, hesitation. This time we flip it around the other way. We get a little bit more detail, a bit more clarity around the problem. Then we cushion it, so we show that we're very calm, we're very objective. Right? Then we address the issue. Okay, we address the issue. Then we test. Will that solve the problem for you? Will that be sufficient to make you feel happy about this? Will that do whatever it's got to do to keep your business, whatever it might be? We then try and make sure that we test it. What we've actually said, they're buying it, right? They're accepting it. Got to check that, because we might think, hey, I've given them the best solution, this is no problem, but from their point of view, they're like, well, hang on a minute, that doesn't address my issue at all. Well, yeah, but that's not really satisfactory. We need to know that, right? Then we offer any additional help. We now switch the subject. Right? We've dealt with that, which is a negative. Now we try and switch the whole tone of the conversation onto something that's more positive. We want to finish on a positive note. So get it, we've dealt with the negative, move it now across into something positive. Did I mention to you that we've now got this facility? Did I talk to you last time that we've seen this working very well for people in your industry? Did I mention we've now got some numbers around client reactions to blah, 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 whatever it might be? We switch the whole conversation to something positive, all right? Offering some additional help. Then we do the follow-up, right? We do what we are going to do, all right, from there on in. All right? What we will do to keep the relationship going. So you're going to do check back, or you're going to arrange another meeting, or you're going to arrange some contact with them. The follow-up might be something you do individually. You just make a note, get back to client to check so-and-so. Got the idea? Everyone clear? All right, so let's have a go. Let's do it in pairs. This is very simple, right? This is a very simple process. So think of a mistake. Something has gone wrong. Something's gone wrong. Logo was put on back to front. You know, upside down, whatever it is. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Something was missed. Pick a mistake. Tell your partner the mistake. Then they're going to hit you with that mistake. Our logo was around the wrong way. Or you left half our logo out. Or whatever it might be. Got the idea? And then you deal with it. You say, now which logo, which one of your logos was that? Which issue, where was that? You know, get some clarification. You know, right. Well, that's very important. That brand, you know, brand protection is a very key issue. Understand that. This is what we're going to do about it. You know. Does that satisfy your requirements? Did I mention to you that we're also doing this now? And let me come back to you next month just to make sure you're happy with the next issue, or whatever it might be, right? Got the idea? That's a very simple formula, right? So in pairs, let's give that a go. That's right. The salesperson, they're not taking responsibility, they're not empathizing. What are they doing?
Never, I always say let a client know about mistake before they find out about it themselves. So he should have
do the
been
follow-up?
Hey, it's going to be 2 days late.
Yeah, didn't warn the client that the delivery would be late. Arguing with the client, right? We say before, don't argue with the client, he's arguing with the client. This is the negative role model skit, right? This is not how we do it. So, now, do you guys have any mistakes you can talk about? You got some mistakes you can give them, and they can play the role. We switch around now. You'll be the customers, and they'll have a. Well, you guys know the complaints. You pick a mistake, hit them with it, and then they do it.
They'll be the customers.
They'll be the customers. Okay. All right. We'll pull it up there again. These are things for role play practice before work, before you see clients. Don't practice handling mistakes on the angry client. Not a good idea. You got a formula, right? Listen, really understand. Question for clarity about what is the depth of the problem, anything additional that you may need to look at. Cushion before you go into the explanation. I'm not sure I heard many cushions in that role play there, but remember the cushion. This is giving you thinking time, right? Then, yes, you address the issue. Then we look at, does that satisfy you? Are you happy with that outcome? Right, this is in your manual, okay? Then we go into switch it from the negative to something more positive by offering additional help with some other part of your solution provision for that particular client that you can offer. And then finally, you do the follow-up, right? You make sure that whatever you said was going to happen actually happens. And we're going to deal with follow-up now. This is on page 7.11. All right, so what we're looking at here is how do you follow up now and exceed your customers' expectations? You know? What do you do today that works in that regard? And what are some things you do? How do you create that customer loyalty by showing value in the follow-up process? What do you do? Good idea. Good idea. Okay, and things that would really make you stand out, what would that be? Something really make you stand out in the market? Because lots of people can do what you've talked about. What would be something additional?
Do you know, for me, it's giving them insights into areas that they just don't think about. Because obviously, if they're really busy, one of the things, and you know the business well, you know the individual, again, it comes back to us to reading and looking and just keeping your eyes open for opportunities to engage with your clients.
Yeah, you might see something on LinkedIn that may be a little bit tangential to what they're doing, but insightful. Give them a look at things from a different angle. Or you might see some statistics published somewhere that they may not have seen, or a survey they may not have seen, and then you can send it to them. You know, so those sorts of things. A lot of stuff online today. People are publishing a lot of information that's rich information, and it's like everyone's doing crowd sourcing of ideas through social media, be it mainly LinkedIn, but also Facebook. So things you'll see there, think, hey, that's good, I'll send it to her. Well, on that point, the next section here is about staying in touch. You know, how do you currently stay in touch with customers? What else could you be doing? So how do you do that? How do you stay in touch with your customers now? You know, we've got email, we've got Messenger on LinkedIn, you've got Facebook posts you can share, you've got LinkedIn posts you can share. You know, there's a lot of things you can do today which was not available to us in the past. Handwritten things are still very powerful. For example, for our trainers, every birthday of a trainer, every anniversary of them becoming a trainer with us, they get a handwritten note from me, right, in my beautiful handwriting. But it's a Dale Carnegie card. It's got the principles on one side and a blank insert on the other, and I write a note there. Very simple, but every positive time they get something like that. I may not see them all that often because they're training in different locations and I'm, doing my things too. So I may not meet them every time. I may not see them on their birthday, but they know, hey, we know it's your anniversary. We know it's your birthday. Thank you very much for all the things you do for us. Like that with customers too. If you've got that degree of knowledge about, the name of their cat, the name of their kids' birthdays, their birthdays, anniversaries, blah, 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 all the typical things you want in a CRM system so you can respond and keep in touch. It's very nice when that happens. People remember you, you feel good about it. Any questions on this section on closing and handling mistakes? Anything we haven't covered here today? But anyway, again, this is a broad range of solutions for you to apply for situations so you've got scope. If you look at this whole winning with relationship selling, it's got a tremendous amount of structure. You're not wanting for direction. You're not puzzled by what I should do next. You're not thrown by what the client does unexpectedly, because there is nothing unexpected because it's all been planned and catered for. You have to have a direction you're going to take this conversation, and the direction is you go through the sales cycle, and so if you go right back to the very first page of program objectives. We talked about the connect. Like and trust you. That's your objective when you make that first connection. Then the collaboration is trying to jointly understand what the problem is that they've got so that you can find out if you are the solution for them or not. And then the create part is working up a solution that you can deliver for them. So you show the evidence of that, you do the trial close to see if that answers their needs. If you get any hesitancy, then we try and confirm their situation, if they've got objections or hesitancy, and then finally we get the commitment stage, ask for the order. So that is a very basic sales cycle, but it's a cycle. And the only shortcut you can take in that cycle is from the create part to the commit part. If you've done a great job in the rapport building, getting the connection going, if you've done a great job in the questioning skills part through collaboration, if you've done a great job in designing the right solution based on what they've told you, then you probably, at that test close stage, may get the order right there and you're done. Now, here's the other part. After you've gotten the agreement, what should you do? They said yes. What happens then?
You walk out.
As quickly as possible, get that inserted.
Why do you leave right there?
You don't want to talk
You don't want to
yourself
talk
out of the sale.
about it.
You don't want to talk yourself out of the sale. Exactly. Now, some salespeople, because they're loquacious and they love talking, they will blab on about something unrelated. But something they say will now trigger a concern or a worry in the client that was not there before. And the whole thing stops. So once you've gotten commitment, all you need to say is, thank you very much, I will get back to you with the contract or with the details or whatever it is, leave. Do not add any more sprinkles on the cake here, right? You've got the cake, agreed, leave it at that. Don't try and add more value. If you haven't added the value to date, you should have done it before. Once you get to agreement, that's it. Leave. Don't keep talking. Very important to have the discipline there. You'll only get yourself into trouble and distract the client and create confusion. All right? Okay, we are completion of winning with relationship selling. So well done.
Hey,
Well done.
I'm